I don't really care about the data. Like, give me the goosebumps. I took it back to the feeling is about feeling confident and feeling alive. It doesn't work well if you walk in a room and feel less than. You need to feel like you can receive, period. You can't receive anything if you feel closed in.
This is All Figured Out. I'm Andrea Barr. I'm a career coach for parents, a mom of two, and I absolutely believe that you can continue to grow personally and professionally while protecting family time. We're about to figure out this work, life, and parenting stuff out together. Emily Shimwell, welcome back to the All Figured Out podcast. Last time I pronounced your last name wrong because we had just met the week before and I called you Emily Shimwell. I'm pretty sure. If you look, did you notice?
Didn't notice in person.
Oh God, it's like haunted me. It's really haunted me.
Oh well, we get round two.
Well, thanks for coming back on. Another great story. Last time you came on, I will link that episode in the show notes. Last time you came on, we had met 2 weeks before on a street. Today, I had a beautiful guest who I will re-record with cancel last minute because I'm pretty sure I got her sick. I saw her last week. I was sick, got her sick. She's canceled on me today. Put it out there, said, come back on the pod. You're like, I'm here. Just at the hotel down the road.
Literally round the corner.
Got my clothes in my car. See you there. 2 hours before, maybe.
I'd literally just said to my meeting, she was leaving at 11:30 and I said the sentence, so I've got wide open 12:30 to 3. I wonder what magic will happen between 12:30 and 3.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God. And I looked down at my phone and I looked at it and I was like, there we go.
Oh, got my 1:30 to 3 sorted. Got an hour to get to Zara. Oh my God. How does this happen to you all the time? You talk about this on social media, having magic just unfold around you constantly. And you don't always just say it like, oh, magic happens to me, but you're like, if you let it, magic happens. How does that happen to you?
I think I'm like looking for it and open to it. So this morning, as I'm walking into the pack room, I always know I get this like full body feeling of when something amazing is going to happen. And I filmed a little 2-second video of me walking in there to say, I feel like something awesome's going to happen today. What's going to happen? And I forgot to post it. And then as soon as I sat down in that meeting, there was like 6 things that transpired from it. We've already now got an event on the 11th of December in
You mean
North
the
Van.
16th?
Or the 16th.
Because I can't come on the 11th. If a date night with my husband, I can't move it.
So many things came from it. And then afterwards, I realised the story hadn't posted. And when I rewatched it, I just thought, isn't it funny? I've kind of anticipated it and also probably drawn in the energy of it all happening because I felt so giddy with excitement.
Yeah, what do you think? How much, if it was a percentage split, how much do you think is this like knowing, this premonition versus how much of it is like you drawing it in?
I think they're the same thing. I think the premonition is the excitement and the giddiness and the aura and the energy and the eye contact and the like that.
This
sparks all of the other. It's like one and the same thing. You need both to create the other. It's not just like I'm going in there, head down, terrible energy, arms folded, not looking at anyone, not even meeting with anyone. Like nothing's going to land on your plate. But if you go in there with that like, then I think it follows. And then you're ready to grab it, not even knowing the logistics or the answer of how to make it happen. It's just like a yes, because I knew it was coming.
I love that.
And I also watched a reel at the weekend. I don't often do that, but I saw one that stopped me because it was a mum saying when she was growing up, her mum and grandma would constantly tell her, good things are going to happen to you. Oh. Good things are going to happen. And she said before they even would, I just assumed. And I thought, I think that's what happened to me. So now when the kids wake up, I'm like, who's going to have the best day ever? And they're like, me.
That's the clip. I think we can go home.
Should we go?
I think that's it. Thanks, Tamir. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I think what you're saying, and I know we've had this conversation, I don't think on the podcast last time, but privately it happened at Feast, the big event that you hosted in October, where it's like, call it what you want. It doesn't matter if you call it manifestation. It doesn't matter if you call it energy, if you call it God. It doesn't matter if you call it a good attitude or good karma, good aura. It's like, it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
Just put out good energy. Just be a good person.
I think the reason I hold any discomfort with the word manifestation is because I hear it, or the situations I've seen it spoken in tends to be the woman is coming at it from a just sit and receive point of view. And yes, that's true. But also, like, if I hadn't driven here, if I wasn't at the pack rim, if I wasn't keeping intentional space open for magic to happen, then how could it have? So it's like the action as well as the being in flow and open to it. It's like all of it at once has to happen together.
Yes.
You
It's
know?
not like two things coming together. It's like a 3D puzzle.
Yeah, they're like all melded into one piece of action.
It's so true. I felt this morning, so my guest canceled, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll record like a bunch of solo episodes. I was like, 3 hours of myself talking, like, that sounds fun. Which actually doesn't sound fun to me. Maybe fun for others. And then I was like, it's not really what I feel like doing today. Honestly. I was like, it doesn't really sound fun. It's a rainy day here in Vancouver. I was like, I don't know. I was excited to like speak with somebody. And so I just threw it up on Instagram. Asked you, put it at like a space out there for one other person. And you and another beautiful soul who has a completely different story and like really incredible story she's never told before online just happened to unfold. This is 3 hours notice. That is nuts. But I was like, what's the worst that can happen? And then I started thinking, oh, what happens if like I put this up? This is actually what happened. What happens if I put this up, or if I ask Emily or ask other people and like they can't come? And I've put it on social media saying like, oh, I have 2 spaces. And then it makes me look like, oh, nobody wanted to come to my party. Like that's actually what started happening in my brain. And then I was just like, who cares? Then I have 3 solid hours to record by myself. Whatever. You have to shoot your shot.
No one cares, and nobody would have actually cared. Nobody would have even known.
No.
It's like the stories that we tell.
Yes.
Yesterday I came down to Park Royal and I went in Zara with the kids. It kills my back because they both want carrying the whole time we're shopping. Oh. But I thought, I'm going to go in there and risk the broken back for a little browse for 2 minutes. So I went in and there's this woman staring at me and she just kept looking at me the whole time I was in there, this older lady. And I started making up this story of she thinks I'm a terrible mum. I shouldn't be in Zara with the kids. We live in Squamish, so the kids are constantly at the river, in the forest. Should I go and tell her? They're not normally in a shop. They're not normally near the concrete. They're normally in the river. And it's like this story that I was telling myself, and I don't often do it. And eventually she walked over to me and she said, can I say something? And I said, we're from Squamish.
That was your response?
Meaning, like, they're nature boys. And she said, you are doing the best job on this planet for those kids. And I got so emotional. And she said, I've been watching you since you walked in here. You're not just shopping and running an errand. They're having so much fun. You're so engaged with them. They're even like counting. And she just said, you should be so proud of yourself. And she grabbed my hand and a little tear streamed down my face. And I said to her, I told myself that you were judging me. And I'd already was on the back foot of like defending myself of why we're here. And she said, this is real life, darling. Like, you're in, it's 2025. We have to do stuff. Obviously, from your accent, you don't have family here. Like, you're doing amazing. And I just left thinking, why was I telling myself that story? I had this mum guilt immediately.
You just go to the depths of whatever it is you might be feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
About like what you feel insecure about, or it's like the person's looking at you and you're like, I know I have a zit on my face. Like, I already know that.
Yeah,
it's like you don't want people
know.
to catch you out.
That's why I always, never, ever, ever, always never leave a compliment unsaid. So if I ever clock someone and I think, God, she looks beautiful, I love her dress, I wonder where her shoes are from, I'll chase after her to tell her, because I don't want her to think that I'm thinking anything negatively about her. You know, sometimes you look at someone in the coffee shop and they start fidgeting because she's probably thinking, oh, should I have worn this? I always go over and say, I'm just looking at you because I think you look amazing. And it just takes away that silly story that she started telling that wasn't true.
More of that. More of that.
I run after everybody.
Oh, I'm going to start running after people. And you were inappropriate footwear everywhere too.
Everywhere.
You're chasing them in your heels. Last time you were here, you were about to host Feast. You were weeks away from hosting a 110-person event. And we were sitting here afterwards, and I said, so how many tickets have you sold? And you said, not nearly enough. So fast forward 3-4 weeks from when we first recorded here to Feast, you had a wait list.
We did.
How the hell did you do this? How did you pull that off? Now that it's like done, because you were being good, like you were being very transparent, but you weren't like, yeah, I've sold nothing. So tell us the whole story now.
I think I've realised I work best when I reach ultimate breaking point, which takes so long to get there. I have quite a high capacity for it. And I like to load and load and load the plate. I go through the period where everyone around me is panicking. And then when I get to the other side and I have a moment of despair, that's when all the good things happen. And that's when all the learning comes and the stretching and the discomfort. And that's when I make a change. So all at once, like 3 things I think happened at the same time. One of which was I called my mum and I said, what should I do? Do I postpone this? I've sold no tickets. What do I do? And she said, have you got the facts? Have you got the financial facts? And of course I said no. And she said, go and get them. I'm not taking you seriously until you've got the facts, because we need to know what point we need to get to for it to break even. So that really helped for me to go and sit with the bookkeeper and just like understand and also see some of these frivolous costs that we don't actually need. Which it turns out we did need the velvet tablecloths, and I'm glad we did it, but it meant selling more tickets.
We needed the velvet. Everybody needed the green. We will put B-roll in this clip to show the beautiful green velvet gorgeous. Oh my God.
It was essential.
It was essential.
Made no financial sense, but it was essential.
And you knew it.
Knew it. Then I spoke to Krista, my coach, and she walked me through the step-by-step process of how does it look to postpone it or to cancel it. Which sounded awful, felt scary. And then I got to the point of thinking, this is amazing and this story is sellable that we postpone it. I'm all about being transparent. And I think sometimes the event space looks all glamorous and beautiful and fun, and behind the scenes, it's an absolute gong show. It's so stressful. I don't know why any of us do it, but it's like the most addictive drug on the planet. It's so stressful in this economy to sell a high price point ticket. I chose to sell the highest price point ticket that exists in Squamish, which I stand by wholeheartedly. It's actually worth more now I've been in the room. Yeah. But it had never been done before. And quite a large amount of them needed selling. So I was quite excited to just say, I tried it and it didn't work, and this is why. And if you're planning an event, don't do these things. Skip to levels 3 and miss out my mistakes. So then that took the pressure off the worst case happening. And then I also bumped into my friend's husband, who said to me, how's it going? And I said, I can't sell this. First thing ever in my life, I've sold jet boats at Sydney Harbour Opera House. I've sold like the maddest things actually around the
You would
world.
have been so good at that. You would have been, what are you doing right now? Want to come on a jet boat?
I used to shout, jet boat ride, guys, jet boat ride, jet boat ride. Anyway, he was like, get in the car and take to the streets and sell in person. It's totally inefficient, but it's going to work. Go and sell your passion eye to eye on the street. And so I did. I got up at Starbucks, left all of my stuff, just ordered a drink. I didn't even get it in a cup to go. I just got in the car and he'd fired me up so much and actually annoyed me a bit, which is perfect to spark action in Emily, is like get under my skin. And I did it. And the first person I interacted with, he bought a ticket for his wife. And I thought,
well, this is going to work.
Well, this might work. Terribly, terribly exhausting to sell in person. But as I just said to you, it was really character building. And it taught me all the different psychologies of why people buy and all the different types of people that would buy and the information they need to be told to buy. And the level of detail some people need versus others, what situation my product hits in. And that's what I did. And I just thought, well, don't show me the data anymore. I just want to see stock depleted and I'll keep going and going and going until we've sold it. Once I'd decided all I need to do is break even, which is terrible on paper. But at that point, it was the best case scenario. Then we exceeded that. And we then added more and more things that would make the experience even more wow. Because then I was so deep in it, I thought, this is a trilogy. Like, there's another one next year. I can already feel it. Let's just nail it this time. And yeah, of course, then there was a wait list.
Unbelievable. When I saw that you had posted wait list, that you had posted that you reached out to the Check-In Center and said, please, can we add a couple more seats somewhere in this room? I believed it. I was so happily, I was just elated. I don't want to say I was shocked. I wasn't. I had full conviction sitting across from you that day in September. And I was like, oh, she's going to do it. And I could tell that there was people in your life who we need in our life who were probably like, you're out to lunch. Like, you're out to lunch. This is insane.
Well, the data looked bad.
Exactly. And you know what I'm getting from what you said is that you were like, okay, I can't be foolish and thinking that I have to sell to everybody in the way that I think I like to be sold to.
Yeah.
And just sell one way. So you were really clear on and empathetic on, okay, these people need different types of information. They need every single thing they're going to get.
Yeah.
They need to understand exactly what the day looks like.
Gift bag, the schedule, the speaker topics, everything.
Yeah. And that's not me. That's not you. But some people are like that. So you were empathetic and understanding your audience, but then you were like, and I know that to motivate myself, I don't need the data every single day. So there's such a difference there where you were like, that's great and I have to understand these people, this audience.
Yeah.
But I also have to understand me and how I want to work, how I want this to happen.
As soon as I got my head out of the data, out of the swirling thoughts of how are we getting 5,000 clicks on that ticket page, which is quite a lot for a really small business, and it's not converting, we didn't have time to pick it apart. Now we can, but now I don't even think we need to be honest. And yeah, of course, woke up and thought, do you know what? While this iron's hot, we need to sell for next year. So launched tickets immediately for next year, sold 40 tickets already, so we're 40% sold out. And I only had a penny drop moment this weekend of, we haven't even told anyone who the speakers are.
Or the gift bag.
Or anything about it. So even the people who aren't like me, who came and wanted the data, they're now all in. They know it. They've seen it. And a lot of people left on the way out and said, oh God, now we get why you struggled. This wasn't a conference. This wasn't a dinner. This wasn't a retreat. It was just feast. It was its own thing. And Krista, my coach, whispered in my ear as she left, some things that you go to, the KPI is goosebumps. And this is one of those things. And the room's full of them. And now that's just how I want to live my life, that the KPI is goosebumps of whatever I do or whatever I'm involved in. I don't really care about the data. Give me the goosebumps.
But isn't that so related to what we were just talking about at the beginning?
Yeah.
You're looking for the goosebumps.
Yeah.
You're like, the goosebumps are there. The goosebumps are in Zara on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
When this woman, this like older woman is like eyeing me and I think that she's mad.
It was an amazing moment.
Like, it's there.
Yeah.
If you look for it, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It was, I had posted on social media, it was, I said 7.5. Turns out it was 8.5 years. I got my anniversary wrong since I had been at that place, that very special place in the forest. And I really had such a transformative, whatever word you want to call it, moment of standing there and being like, the last time I was here, I was such a different person.
Yeah.
And I would have been receiving, there was so much about it. I would have been receiving the information in such a different way. I wasn't a mother yet. I got married that day, I suppose. I hadn't become a coach. I hadn't left advertising. Like, I was a different beast of a human. And to be there and to feel so grounded and to be surrounded by such like magic and beauty and you and like these beautiful, those beautiful tablecloths.
It was just the day I so selfishly wanted to go to myself.
And it was it.
Yeah, it was.
And I still don't know how you describe it. But it was slow. Like the pace was slow.
Yeah.
And there was time to connect if and when you wanted to connect. It wasn't forced networking, which is one of my least favorite things in the entire world, which is crazy because I'm an extreme extrovert.
Yeah.
But forcing me, okay, go to the person next to you. Okay, say this. Okay, now do this. Okay, find 3 people in the room, play a bingo game. It's like, don't ever tell me what to do, first of all. And it wasn't that. It was amazing. Now, okay, one thing, I have to ask you this, and we have to record it.
Ask me.
Leading up to Feast,
Yeah.
I was so intrigued and loved your communication. There was so much intentionality around like I could tell, like giving people information who was like, what did I sign up for? What did I just pay for? Like that. You could tell that there was like, don't worry, we've got you. We're holding you. We're going to take you right through to this event. You will have all the information, which was like so smart. And I noticed that you talked a lot about the dress code, which I thought was so cool and so unique. I'd previously been to one of your brunches where you had sent an email the week before saying, excited to see you. Here's the dress code. And I thought, wow, that's different.
Is it?
To me, it was different. Apart from a wedding where it's like, are you wearing, tux tails or like cocktail casual? And I thought, oh, that's cool. I appreciate that.
I love a dress code.
Apart from a theme, like it's actually very unusual.
Is
to me.
it?
I think so.
Oh, cool. I love that. And we normally go with a word as well. So for Dine Wilder, the dinners that we do, it's never tends to not be a colour or a certain piece of clothing. It's more like a feeling that I want to evoke in people. So it could be like whatever makes you feel most abundant, whatever makes you feel most childlike. And I just think I spent a lot of time when I first started Dine exploring the customer journey. And so that doesn't need to necessarily be the website and the marketing copy. It can be the customer's thought journey.
Yes.
So from the moment of discovery, there is so much anticipation that sets the tone for how they're going to receive the event. And I think when it is a higher price point than usual, I want to be excited about the event.
Totally.
Like, for example, we just bought Olivia Dean tickets. I'm so excited that there's such a long lead up and that we get to like plan the excitement of it. Like, that's the whole point of it. And it's almost like it's the cherry on the cake that we get to go to the concert.
Totally.
That's how Feast felt to me. Even in business and like motherhood, everything, it's the journey. And I know we say it all the time, but like, how present are we in the journey? Because there's no point waiting to get to a certain point of knowing or of understanding, because then the kids have moved out. Like, I don't know. I just think about it a lot. Yeah. And so when someone discovers the logo and then ends up on the ticket page, on the website, like what are the feelings that have been evoked of opening that homepage? Obviously it's my business, but I think Dine evokes a feeling when you enter that website. And then when you receive the emails, building this hype and this anticipation of this is the dress code, this is the da 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 da. I like it to be mysterious, but I think it takes the customer on a journey of excitement before they've even got there. I will say that I had to do so much more hand-holding for Feast. Again, I wasn't selling to the people who were just like immediately in, and I had no proof of concept and nothing to show. So, I mean, the real story is that my first piece of marketing copy said, wear your heels to the forest. And so I then, in asking people, why are you not coming? Why haven't you bought a ticket? Yeah. Oh God, we don't wear heels. And I thought, is that actually a barrier to entry? And it turns out it was. They didn't want to come to something where they had to wear heels on a Sunday. And I thought, God, it's just tongue in cheek. Like, it's just...
Wow. They took it literally.
Totally. And I mean, I did kind of mean it literally too. Yeah. I love wearing a pair of heels, like whether we're in the forest or not. And I wanted it to be a moment where you got dressed up. But to some people, they thought that that meant it excluded them if they wanted to wear a beautiful dress with a pair of really cool sneaks. So it made me dissect every piece of wording that was out there and speak to the people who didn't want to wear the heels, and also really hold their hand in explaining it's not about how you look. I am so obsessed with this like tagline of wear the damn dress. Like, why the hell do we leave the nice clothes hanging up for the fancy occasion? Fancy occasion comes, does anyone reach for the ones that are already hanging? No, you go and buy new. So it's like, absolutely, we're full of shit leaving the clothes hanging. Yeah.
Or you borrow. I always go to my girlfriend's closet.
Do you? That's nice. Everyone borrows from me.
Because you want something different. I'm coming to you next, girl. You know it.
I just don't get it. I think if it was the last day on Earth today, would we be walking around with the top knot, feeling like shit, wearing our naff clothes? Probably not. No. And also, when opportunities arise like this one, I was able to just say yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready.
and that's so interesting. So for you, it sounds like
I just like to be ready.
Yeah, you're ready because you're looking for the magic.
Yeah,
you're looking for the magic. You're open to receive it. You're ready. But you're not on edge, because I imagine there's days where you're dressed to the nines in downtown Squamish at a cafe.
I don't need to be going anywhere at all.
And nothing in particular happens. You're not being asked to go on CBC radio, like CBC Tonight or whatever. But you're like, but I felt, now I guess I'm asking you. But like at the end of that day, you're like, but I felt good.
I think we just feel better. And I used to like really feel awkward encouraging people to get dressed up, because I would receive pushback of like people thinking it's silly and now I'm just like, oh, do you know what? As women, it doesn't need to be a dress, but I think there is something about us so deeply ingrained in us. If there is a moment where we can be a little bit put together, however that looks, it doesn't need to be a dress and heels. It could be your favourite pair of jeans where you feel a bit more sucked in, or like something a matching clean. Lulu set, something clean, like whatever. How many times does someone say, God, your hair looks amazing? And it's like, oh, I just washed it. Like, oh, this shirt, yeah, I ironed it. It doesn't need to be anything. I would never iron, by the way. That's why I wear stuff like this.
I don't know how.
I would never. My kids actually saw an iron and asked what it was, and I was like, I am the worst muff and wife.
I took a couple white shirts to the cleaner, to the dry cleaner, which is such a ridiculous thing to do.
Oh, whatever.
But I said, I checked off extra starch. They got cleaned, pressed, sent back to me, and I've worn white dress shirts more in the last couple weeks than I have in years.
I checked because it was extra starch.
Extra starch. I treated myself, girl. I went for it. This is my heels. Okay, so I have to know. What did you do? What did you do and what did you change in the marketing when you started to feel and receive that pushback? Did you say, okay, now I have to appeal to everybody? Now I have to walk it back? Now I have to re-explain?
Two things. I took it back to the feeling and I really reinforced everything related to any of the brands. is about feeling confident and feeling alive and feeling it doesn't work well if you walk in a room and feel less than. And it doesn't need to be that you look a certain way, but you need to feel like you can receive, period. Like,
Yeah.
you can't receive anything if you feel closed in, if you don't want to make eye contact with someone. I remember going to Walmart once, feeling like so crappy. And I bumped into so many people I knew. And I know it might sound really shallow, but I just didn't show up in the interactions the way I normally would. I didn't feel that like giddiness. And I don't know, like...
People don't talk about this though.
No, but it's true. None of us do.
But it's true.
Good for you. If you can go out rolling out of bed, amazing, and you're my idol. But I don't feel like that. So until I feel like that from rolling out of bed, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, and I'd be curious if the person is saying that and if they really believe it. Or if they really are thinking about their interaction when they went to Walmart that time and they were feeling like they looked rough. I'm not saying they actually looked rough. They probably looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, if they really were to think about the person that they bumped into and like how they showed up.
It's the joke that I think everyone's beautiful. Like, everybody I describe, I'm like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And everyone's like, show us. And I'm like, she is. Because to me, beauty is how you come across and your excitement and zest for life. And 100%. Your, like, you don't need to look like a Victoria's Secret model by any means. In fact, please don't.
Yeah.
The sexiest people are the people that just feel good in their skin. And I have those days at home where we're like gardening. I mean, I don't really garden, but the kids are digging and I'm doing something with a rake.
By gardening, you mean the kids are digging and throwing dirt around.
But I might be in overalls, but I'll still have a full face of makeup on and I still feel really good. And I just think the kids have more fun too. We're also a very spontaneous family. So like, Dean might say to me extremely out of the blue, we're going to West Van or we're going to Oregon, we're going wherever. And I'm like, when? Oregon. And he's like, I don't know, now. And I'm like, now. And I think he probably does it even more so because he knows I'm ready to go. And I'm like, okay. Once we went to Oregon, we went to...
no, you didn't.
We were supposed to go on Boxing Day to the aquarium in Vancouver. Well, he said to me, should we go somewhere? This is Boxing Day morning. And I was like, yeah, where should we go? He was like, I don't know, the aquarium, the pump track, just chuck some stuff in the car. So I got an IKEA Kallax cube, a storage cube, and the whole family packed all of our belongings in this one cube. And I saw him grab the passports and I said, what are you doing with them? And he said, well, what if we end up in Mexico? And I was like, so do I need a bikini? He was like, yeah, put one in just in case, doesn't take up any space. We got in the truck and we drove to the aquarium in Vancouver. We turned around and the kids were asleep. Well, that's like gold dust if you can actually speak to your husband. Can you imagine? You get to talk to them uninterrupted.
You're not stopping that car.
We are not going to that aquarium. So he continued driving. We drove to the airport and then we got there and the kids were still asleep. And we said, should we just cross the border? We ended up at the aquarium in Oregon. We drove all through the night. The kids woke up at one point. We stopped at, I don't know where we stopped at, a white spot or somewhere, naff. But it was so fun. And the kids were like, where are we? And I was like, we're in America. Jack was like, where are we sleeping? I was like, I don't know. And I actually think we might have caused a bit of PTSD because sometimes we'll be in Savon and he'll be like, where are we sleeping tonight? And I'm like, oh God, at home, Jack, at home. The man next to us is like looking at us.
You're saying it louder for the lady in line. You're like, we're sleeping at home. We're sleeping at home.
For a while after he kept asking, but we ended up being gone for 2.5 weeks. Honest to God, we did. This was just last year. And we found this amazing spa-like place in Oregon. It was amazing. So we stayed there for 5 nights. I nearly died when Dean came out and said, I've booked 5 nights. I was like, oh, okay. So we stayed for New Year. And then all the way back, we just kept Holiday Inn hopping, lodge hopping. And we just kept saying, should we just keep staying another night? And I thought, this is the epitome of living the dream. this is what self-employment is about. The fact that we can just keep stopping. And every night I had to wash the kids' clothes in the bath and dry them because they had nothing to wear. So every single photograph for 2.5 weeks, they're in the same clothes. And it was their birthdays while we were away, 28th and 29th. And Jack's like, what did Santa bring? He thinks Santa brings his Christmas presents. And the night before I was like, oh my God, like we've got no presents. So we went in Walmart and I bought him one gift and he was over the moon with this naff present. We just had the best time ever. So you've always got to be ready.
Gotta be ready. You had a curling iron in your car.
Yeah.
Okay, but are you and Dee, tell me about this partnership. Do you think you have to have two people who are like that? Like, I actually didn't know this. I mean, we've only known each other 2 months. Probably that's why I didn't know this about Dee. Like, is he also as like extremely just open and ready? It sounds like he's no. Do you think you bring that out in him, or how does this partnership work?
He's very spontaneous, very no frills, kills it with his construction business, but will always wear socks till they've fallen off his feet, got holes in. Yeah. The most basic human being ever. So relaxed, you might wonder if he's asleep. And like full transparency, I've had moments where I've said to him, like, are we the right match? Like, are we? Am I not too much? But I think actually you need both.
I agree.
Don't you? You need both.
Yes.
I did say to him the other day, I think I drive you crazy. I never pay off my credit card. I've got the parking ticket. I haven't returned the library books. The list goes on. But would you rather I did all of those things? Or, and he didn't even let me finish, and he said, I'd rather you do those things. No, like in a bad way. He was like, I would rather swap the fun, and I'd rather you just pay the credit card.
I thought you meant I'd rather.
I was like, oh, right.
Oh, shoot.
I'm not that person. But you will wake up and have loads of fun, and I will be really excited about our lives. And yeah, don't know.
So
part of his spontaneity is if you're in the world of construction, you don't know when you're going to be off work. So our vacations and trips are extremely, like we're going on holiday for Christmas, but we don't know where or when or anything, and probably won't till Christmas Eve. So some of it is forced, but yeah.
Incredible. Now, let's talk about you've lived everywhere. This is going to be a funny question, but I want to know, going back to like feeling sexy.
Yeah.
And like the sexiest people you've seen. You've seen people from all over the world. This is the only person I think I could ask this question to. Like, what are the sexiest traits, parents, non-parents, older people, younger people? Like, what makes somebody, like, apart from confidence, because you said that, but what is it? What is it about that makes someone like just attractive as a human? I'm not talking necessarily just about looks.
I was going to say confident. Definitely. Number one is like confidence.
Yes.
Fun. Well, I don't know. Maybe these are just the traits I'm attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
Spontaneity. Mm-hmm. Just like a love of life, you know? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you make beaded jewellery and sell it on Etsy, or whether you are a lawyer at a local law firm, or whether you're a school teacher. If you're passionate about what you do, maybe these are just, as I said, the traits that I think are attractive, but if you're passionate about whatever it is, to me, that's like the most amazing trait in someone. And you can tell, and it oozes out of them. And you carry yourself differently, you light up. I had a coffee with someone last week and she was taking me through all of her business ideas. And a lot of them were like, made a lot of sense financially. And then there was this one and she just went, but I love singing. And I was like, okay, scrap the rest. I think you need to follow the singing one, because if you follow the thing that lights you up and you pair it with the hard work and the business mindset and all the rest of it, that's going to be the thing that you'll do through the hard days and the days it makes no sense. You're going to jump out of bed I listened to a Jens Greed podcast yesterday. I'm obsessed with him and Emma. And he said, it's not that I wake up and I have to do it. It's that I can't not do it. It's just in me. I have to do it. And I follow anything where my enthusiasm is taking me. And I don't do it because it makes sense to anyone else. And that's exactly how I feel about Dine Wilder. It just makes so much sense and I can't not.
How do you rally people around you? Your business requires you to be reliant on other people.
Yeah.
Which, as the listeners know, most of whom are leaders in some respect, leading their house, but mainly leading in the workplace.
Yeah.
That is like when you're so certain on the vision and you can see it and you can feel it like you can with Dine Wilder. How have you been able to bring people into that vision and stand in that position of leadership?
I've been asked that a few times this week, so it's had
No
me
way.
thinking about it. Yeah, just in passing. And led me to speak to Kaylee, who works with me, about it as well, from her perspective of like, how are you along for this journey with no facts and no proof, fairly new to working alongside one another. And she said, oh, there's been moments where it's tricky, Em. Like, I believe you, but sometimes the priority ranking differs so vastly from you and I. She said, I struggle with it. For example, we're trying to sell Feast and you've posted nothing on Dine Wilder. Like, there's one story on Dine, but you've got 20 stories on your own. From an outside point of view, that makes no sense. Push Dine. What I now see being out of it, is you were the one selling and connecting in real life. And so that was your version of being in person, was you selling the behind the scenes and the why and the vision that you personally hold. And that's what was bringing everyone to the Dine page. But it was nice to have that open conversation with her of like, what is frustrating or how does it feel? And I was picking apart, driving here this morning, the customer journey and how that unfolds with Dine Wilder, because someone made a comment last week of like, the start of your funnel is in the coffee shop and you think it's frivolous that you're spending your time working in the coffee shop because you should be locked away in your home office. But he said to me, I just watched the funnel begin with 7 different women in the coffee shop. They are now some time going to become a Dine customer. Or maybe their auntie is going to become a coaching client, or something down the line will happen with all of those people, even if they just tell someone else the interaction they've had with you. And so he was like, how is that transferable, scalable? And it opened up that conversation. And I think it's, again, the passion and the eye contact. It's not so frequently that you'll speak to someone about their business or their life plan when they have such conviction that there's no other alternative. And I love speaking to those people because you're just in. I just want to throw my hands up and be like, I'm in. That candle business is going to take off.
And
I
you
believe
can
you.
feel it.
You can feel
There's
it.
people who will say, I love this business. We're the best salespeople. We're the best, no, whatever. Someone's selling you the thing. And you can kind of like look into their soul a bit and you can just tell if they buy it. And I had that moment with our mutual friend, my coach, Kristen, where there was something I was playing around with and I was talking and I was just like, and she goes, so what's going on here? And I said, I don't buy it. And she's like, you will never sell this.
Yeah.
It was some version of a coaching something or other. And I was like, this makes sense. This rationally makes sense. And I was like, but this, but that. And she's like, stop. You will never sell this. You don't buy it. Anybody asks me about this podcast, I'm like, just you wait.
That's what I do. Just you wait. It's the tone. It's the... I mean, it sounds silly to like dissect it that much, but I have been thinking about it since my friend asked me. He was like, why does it land when you say it more than other people? And I think it is like as simple as your body language, as the eye contact, and it's just like, it's a bit like dating. I would be terrible at it because I am just how I am. With friends, with people on the street, with my business, with a partner, there's no holding back. And I don't care if you've messaged me or you've called me. I'll just call anyway. Yeah. You know, not in like...
I know.
Not in an annoying way, but I can't hold it in.
Yeah.
And I'll say to a friend like, oh my God, I think I'm in love with you. Or like, I just can't help it.
Yes.
When you are just so open, no barriers, completely open to rejection and the other person not buying in, they inadvertently can't help but jump in. And it's the same thing when you tell someone your vision. And I'm very honest in saying, I don't know how we get there, but I think you've got those skills. And I think it's empowering that person to have ultimate autonomy. Kaylee knows she doesn't have to run anything past me. In fact, gold stars if you make all the decisions.
100%.
I'm gone for the day. Yeah. You make all the decisions and then you just tell me what's happening. As long as it's getting us towards that North Star somehow, I don't care what path we take. No. And it's just surrounding yourself with people that buy into the vision, but who have polar opposite skills from you. And I think going through Feast, the key is that you see one another's skills as superpowers. Because if you doubt the other person's power, the resentment creeps in and you start annoying each other. See the differences as the reason that you'll get there. And don't be so attached to the step-by-step process.
God, 1,000% agree. And you had said on the stage at Feast that you, in conflict or whatever, mild or large, you would say, who cares more? And that was who would win. But that only works if you actually do buy into the other person's skills, passion, vision. Like if you trust, which you do implicitly, Kaylee, and like her neck of the business, then you're like, okay, you seem real fired up about this.
And back to the dress code, she kept pushing for me to give it language that it was about the feeling and not how, you know, we look. And she said to me, I want a boot check. And I said, we don't need a boot check. Like, no one's going to walk the grounds. Everyone's here for Feast to be in that room. And she kept saying, not everybody is like you. I would want to go and see the goats at lunchtime. I don't want to go and see the goats at lunchtime. I've seen them actually, so that's probably why. But lots of people do want to. Yeah. And so she kept going on about this boot check. And in the end, I was like, have your boot check. The boot check was the best thing about Feast. Everybody brought, or so many people, you didn't because you're like me. So many people bought 2 pairs of shoes. Aww. The feedback form after, boot check, epic. And it's because she pulled this matters. So I was like, okay, do it.
And it really wasn't any sweat off your back either. How has all of this, like, I love the through lines of feeling confident, feeling ready, being open. How did all of this change, if at all, when you became a mother? Like, were you always dressed to the nines, or is that something that came up later on?
I've always been the same. I think all that happened was I thought for a minute that we couldn't do it as a mum on mat leave. And I slipped into the uniform that everyone else wears. And then I had a few moments of thinking, oh, I don't feel like me anymore, just for a sec. And I thought, why have I... it's this self-fulfilling prophecy that we're told you become a mum, you lose yourself, you lose your body, you can kiss your body goodbye. And I just accepted that that's real life, that we welcome in these incredible little human beings that tip our world upside down for the better. And in the process, we accept that that version of us is gone and then we're mum. And I just thought, I don't like that. I'm not having that. Why can't I get dressed up? And then I realised I was a better mum for it, for getting up a little bit earlier than them, putting myself together. It's really demanding being a mum. Like, bloody hell. How many times are we asked to do something for somebody else before 9 a.m? It's like insane.
The most.
So the way that I show up the best in doing all of those things, cleaning the spills, breaking up the fights, dressing the people, all of it, is by me feeling put together. I feel more powerful, more in control of my emotions for some reason. I just do. And better able to deal with whatever. And also my kids, and I think a lot of kids are better if you just get out the house. So I would just love to be ready. Then we get them up, then we just go out and let them run free for a little bit first. But it's only just recently where I think it's okay to say, I don't just feel the same, I actually feel better. Like, I feel quite sexy that I've grown human beings. Is that weird?
No, it's not.
I feel like it's really weird to say it. Like, makes my body
so.
feel strange to say it. I think it's like amazing.
I think it's so unbelievable. The confidence that comes with being like, I'm a mom.
Yeah, no.
Two human, like that is to me crazy. I am
and you don't have to
perpetually
have grown
25,
them.
22. That's where what's your number? Where are you like mentally?
24,
24.
I think. Yeah.
Isn't that incredible? And yes, no, you don't have to have grown them. Oh God. That doesn't matter. It's the like, I am responsible for these two little humans. And I can still use my tornado emoji and be like, I'm still me.
It's so fun when you accept I'm just in my 30s living life and I want you to watch me. And now I own it with my language towards the kids too of like, can we do this or whatever? And I'm like, no, get in the stroller. We are going for a run for an hour. Look at the clock. I show them the clock. You see these 23 hours of the day? They're yours. You own them. For this 1 hour, you're going to sit in that stroller. Beforehand, we can make some kind of I Spy bingo that we'll take with us and we'll have an absolute blast while we're on the run. So actually, it is kind of about you. Yeah. But Mummy's going for a run. And now they're just like, they know that that's their only option. And I think that's just a small example, but same for getting ready and me having fun. My kids stayed up so late on Friday night. My girlfriends were over. We drank wine. The house was shaking. The music was that loud. And the kids were running around like all of their children were there and they slept over.
Oh.
And I just, like, in a moment, with a wine in my hand, the music on, I said, we're the best parents.
Yes.
Like, we're probably not the best parents, but that's how I grew up. And I loved for a minute that Jack was watching me be a woman. There's something powerful about your kids watching you be a woman and not just mum. I want them to know I'm not just mum.
You will always mom. That's the undercurrent.
Yeah.
But you're a woman first.
Yeah.
You're human.
And I love that he knows I'm called Emily. I'll never forget him finding out I had a name. You know?
Yes. Oh, I'm just eating this up. There's so much good in you, but I want to know, how do you deal with people who feel triggered by you, who are in the moment? And I know this is an awkward question to answer.
Yeah, did you see I did a big inhale?
I saw it. I see you. The person who's like, you can just tell you show up dressed or done. And when we say dressed, I think we're talking about like a metaphor. Like you're just...
Yeah, it's completely a
whatever
metaphor.
It is. Like you're just feeling like, yeah, I'm ready. I got whatever it is I need in my trunk. Maybe my hiking boots. I don't know. A hatchet. And you show up, okay, in all seriousness, you show up and you're with somebody else and you can tell they're like, oh, there she is again, all dressed up, like thinks she's better. I don't know. I'm making this up.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
It makes me feel really uncomfortable, like even talking about it now. Mm-hmm. It bothers me, and I don't like to admit that it bothers me or even accept that it's true, because to me it then makes it sound like I think I look good. I don't think I look good. I just feel good. And so when you separate the two, and I just know it's a feeling, I just want to bring them along for the ride and be like, just try it. Just try. Like, a lot of women give and give and give and give and give. And in the process of the giving, which we do to be so loving, that's where we lose ourselves. And then ironically, the people that we're giving to start to see that we're becoming a bit resentful of it and almost like martyr-like. I hate to say it, but, and I've been there too. Like, I think, bloody hell, was I put on this earth to just be a cleaner and like feed everybody? I don't think I was.
I don't think so.
But I do it as well. But let's do it in a fun way and let's feel good while we're doing it.
Yeah.
And not just do it to tick a box. But yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure there's loads of people that feel like that about me. But that's why I'm like trying to also speak openly about it's not how you look. And I don't even know how many times I can say that. Yeah. This is just my version of it.
Yeah.
It's
not how the event looks, it's how it felt. That's what you kept saying too.
Diane Wilder, it's like a bonus that it looks beautiful. For me, I'm not even bothered that it looks beautiful. But it has to look beautiful to draw people in. Mm-hmm. And I've had a bit of insecurity too about Diane looking so beautiful, wanting to tell the world, oh, but it doesn't need to. And when you're there, it's like perfectly imperfect. And Erin Anderson, one of the speakers at Feast, gifted me this beautiful book on beauty and how it's a service that you're providing and how in this world of AI and efficiency and strategy and online everything, like how amazing to set a table so intentionally so that someone's going to arrive with such anticipation of what's about to be that they pick this beautifully expensive linen napkin up and unfold it and put it on their knee in this like, we don't even know what food we're going to get. I don't even know who's going to be sat next to me. I keep coming back to this word anticipation this week. And I almost liken it to going on a date, except it's not in a romantic way. It's just your own life. You know, this whole like romanticize your life thing.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with it.
Me too.
And this morning when I sat down with Nuvala, my girlfriend, who's a realtor in the Lower Mainland, we meet because we have the same love of life. And as we were looking at each other, I bypassed it and I didn't mention it. And then she called it 10 minutes later. She said, I just got a feeling looking at you a minute ago. And I said, I had like butterflies looking at you. And it wasn't in a romantic, like, I'm attracted to you sexually.
Yes.
But it was total attraction in a different way of like energy and minds. And I'm getting it like now. That feeling, it doesn't need to be romantic. It can be with your friends and it can be in a moment in a business meeting or lighting up, talking about your kids in a parent teachers or, don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm on this tangent.
I love
but I'm
it.
like,
yeah.
Why can we not have more of those moments that just like make you feel alive? It's the whole point
100%.
of all of this.
The anticipation is something that, again, isn't talked about enough. I remember, you know, when you're a kid and like it's hard to fall asleep. Or I remember like lying there and being like, oh, I really need to fall asleep. Blah, blah, blah. I would go into my head. Oh, I'm sorry. I would go into my head and I would think about a thing that I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
And I would live in the anticipation of the thing I was excited for, a birthday party, seeing my cousins, Christmas, like if we ever got to go to Disney World, like, oh my God, that one would be months of falling asleep thinking about this anticipation. And it's so funny that you bring up that word because when I was gearing up to Feast, I remember thinking and telling people, I am so excited for this thing. I am genuinely so excited. And it was partly because of you, partly because of some girlfriends I was bringing along. But there was so much mystery in it. And it was...
I love mystery.
It was mystery and there was this feeling behind it and the thought and the care that was going into it. And the fact that I paid a good amount of money.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. That's part of it.
Yeah, it is.
Paying $50 for something, you're excited.
If it's $50, it's in my calendar and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But it's an event.
Yes.
And I don't mean it for one moment that it's because I have lots of money, because I don't. But there is definitely something in the psychology of parting with more money than feels comfortable for something in the way that you show up.
100%.
I'm about to host a dinner for some young girls at the secondary school in a couple of weeks. And so amazingly, there's a grant available for it, which I've taken. And so it's basically just to fill my cup that I'm doing it. And was still going to end up costing me. And the solution isn't so that it doesn't cost me. It's because I want to teach the young girls what it means to invest in yourself. And I know that the ones who really want to be at that dinner table will be the ones that show up if there's a small amount of money attached to it. So if they need to pay $30, that is going to weed out some of the people who either aren't ready to go or actually aren't interested. And it makes the experience so much more nourishing and not plentiful, but like
fulfilling. Yes.
If you really want to be there.
100%.
And it's not to say everybody.
And don't max out your credit. Like that's not the conversation. The conversation is that like intentionality.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing the heels, going back to shoes. This whole episode's on footwear. You're wearing the heels and you know they're going to be like a little uncomfortable, but you're like, but it's worth it. Like that like credit card going down, it's like a little bit uncomfortable, but it's worth it. And it might mean that there's a sacrifice. I'm saying yes to this, which means I'm saying no to this other thing.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Some of my most incredible, I'm not kidding, coaching transformations of moms who have come to work with me and they're like, I need to make a change. I'm not the best version of myself. I need to make a change. Help me. And I tell them the price, and coaching is bloody expensive, as your people would say. And I'm thinking of one client in particular that I just wrapped up with, and she had questions. She was like, this is a stretch. This is a really big stretch. Can you help me understand this? And she wasn't questioning. She was just like, help me understand. Like, what will we be doing here? She needed more information. And it was like the most I've probably ever been questioned or just had questions. And her transformation is like the journey she took herself on because she paid that money that was slightly uncomfortable is like unbelievable. Her commitment to the work that we did together, she showed up.
Yeah.
She put in so much effort, not hustling, but just like being there and being so present for our calls. I was like,
it makes you go and take the action before the next call because you think, well, how can I waste this?
100%.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's a woman that drives from White Rock and I said to her one day, I love to understand where people have seen it, why they've come, what they're looking for, who they are. And she said, do you know why I drive from White Rock to every single dinner in Squamish? Because of the price point. If it was $50, I wouldn't come. It's not worth me driving. How mad is that?
Yeah.
It's not worth me driving a 4-hour return, if not more actually, if it was less money.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Because then in there is value.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that conversation without talking about like the value. She feels like that value is so much bigger than that price point, or at least outweighs it.
And God, if you're going to have an interaction that sparks a new business where you find clients, where you go home feeling a more fulfilled version, wholesome version of yourself, like, is there even a cost to that? Because I'd pay loads of money to that. And it doesn't mean that you have to have loads of money. But I've been to things where I've like called my mum from Australia and I'm like, Mum, I know Christmas is 2 months away, but can I have my Christmas money early? Gran, can I have my Easter £50 early? Can I? And I scrape it together to go. I don't want it to sound like it's because I have money. It is not.
No, it's not coming off that way at all.
And it's wherever you hold your value, right? Yeah. Some people that told me it's too expensive, they're telling me as they're on a bike trail on a 10 grand bike, that's fine. But it's just a different value. I ride a bike from Sport Check and everyone laughs at me, but I get just as much enjoyment out of it as your 10 grand bike.
Yes.
But it's just wherever your values lie. I think when you put yourself in rooms and at tables with the unknown crowd of humans who also want to invest that deeply in themselves, it's exponential where that can take you. Like you can't even measure the ripple effect of it. Therefore, in my mind, That's why Tony Robbins, everyone pays 10 grand to be in the room for anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, I have so many more questions, but I don't want to take up your entire day. I have one question that I want to pull a card from this card deck. Okay. So you came to a recent retreat or reset day that I hosted here in North Vancouver, and we pulled the cards, and it was really fun. So I want to do it again. Okay, but I had one question that I did write down. Answer this sentence for me.
Okay.
People would be surprised to learn that I
used to horse ride.
What? Wait, that's not that weird. As a Canadian being like stereotyping you, I'd
it's
be
random
like,
for me.
Yeah, but you're British.
Okay.
Don't all British people horse ride?
Ask me again.
Okay. People would be surprised to learn that I
feel like I'm such an open book. Are they surprised about anything? That I am really self-conscious about my freckles.
What freckles?
I have no idea what to say. No one would be surprised about anything because I'm so open.
Well, okay, you know what I thought you were going to say?
Tell me.
This wasn't a leading question, but I actually thought, as I wrote it down, I was in the car and I was writing it down and I was like, I wonder what she'll say. Oh, I know what she'll say. I thought you were going to say, learn that I am more thoughtful. Like I think things through more than people might think.
Yeah.
Which I think is something about you, that you always use the tornado emoji, which is hysterical, and you show real life. But I remember you saying to me in a voice note one time, Emily and I sent each other 2-hour-long voice notes. And you said, I know it might seem like I haven't thought this through, or I'm just like doing this on a whim, but this is very intentional.
Someone on the way here asked me over a note, can you talk me through the vision? And like, what's your strategy? And then she laughed and was like, I bet you haven't got one. Mm-hmm. And I responded with, no, I haven't, but this is probably what I'm going to do. And her response was, that is the most in-depth strategy I've heard. You give yourself no credit.
Yes.
It's so strategic, but it's so authentic and it's so innately in you, the step-by-step process that you're following.
Your strategy, okay, this goes back to earlier too. Your strategy is that you operate authentically. Like, you have a strategy.
It's actually all really, really meticulously thought out. I think the difference is it's not researched and it's not penned.
It's not in a freaking spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Your strategy is you have a plan. It just looks different from Kaylee.
Everything is the vehicle to something else. That's how I see everything. Like this podcast, an event, every single thing. And when people stop me on the street and say, what are you going to do when people get sick of the dinners? In my mind, I'm like, oh, you don't know. You don't know. This isn't about the dinners. What are you going to do now you've done Feast? Oh, Feast. That was just another vehicle. And now we have it in our toolkit and we know it, but then there's something else. And that's when I think you're always in anticipation of the excitement of your own life too, when you live like that. There isn't an end goal.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait. I can't wait. There's no end game. I can't wait to see every iteration, every dinner, every event, every stage you speak on. Like, I can't freaking wait. Okay. Pick one of these cards. We're going to try not to hit the mics.
This one's calling to me. Okay. Am I reading it?
Yeah, read it out.
A positive habit I've developed over time is booking my exercise classes 30 days in advance. I spoke about it at Feast, but it has changed my life a little bit. Somebody reframed my mindset in January of this year saying, you know, isn't it so funny? Like, we go from these corporate jobs to start our own business for all this freedom and all this flexibility. And then we end up chained to our computers for triple the hours, for a tenth of the money, for loads more anxiety. Like, that's actually the journey for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And you make no time for yourself. You have no freedom because what you put in is what you get out. Mm-hmm. And to start with, there's no one else buying into it other than you.
Sometimes not even.
Sometimes not even. And I realized I was just putting all these hours in and had no time for myself. So she said, you'd never cancel a meeting with me. Go and book all of your things for yourself 30 days ahead. So even if it's just, I know that there's a 1 hour block for a walk, it happens now.
I love that.
Yeah. Are you pulling one?
Okay. Here we go. Oof.
Mhm.
Oof. What has feeling imbalanced taught you about yourself? I've got it. That I can be balanced in imbalance. I spoke on this recently. Oh my gosh, where was it? When was it? Absolutely no idea. It's like every time I listen to a podcast, I'm like, so I'm listening to this podcast. No idea who it was. No idea who said it.
Me too.
But I was having one of those moments where you're creating these like life metaphors. And I was thinking back to my yoga teacher training, just like kind of an eye roll, like, oh, here comes a yoga metaphor. But truly, I was like, people get so upset. Like people get upset about the shoes for Feast. People get so upset about the word balance. I have no problem using the word balance. Because to me, balance, like I can be in a standing tree pose with my hands in the air, waving around, moving my tree, and I'm still standing. It's not symmetrical. I think everyone thinks that balance is symmetry. It's not. It's balance is you're still standing.
Because I think we imagine the silver scale where it's just landing
That's
symmetrically.
Stupid silver scale on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I really like that. I'm
Thank you.
someone who rebels against the word balance a little bit because I think that it sells sometimes a story of how you can have this work-life balance. And I think it maybe comes in sprints, like fits and
100%.
starts a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think if you have the balance, in my mind, rather than every day over the year.
Exactly.
Like there was no balance in bringing Feast to life. Like my husband,
No.
God love him, carried the house, did the pickups while I was at events every single day. And then we swap. And then he's got a huge project and it's like little periods of time. I think I imagine balance to be like every day, all the time, in living in harmony, you know?
That would be symmetry.
Yeah, it would be. You're right.
And I know, but it's words, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think you always talk about getting in person with people and like sharing conversations with other humans, not thinking your way through the world.
Yeah.
Because then you can share, hey, I use the word balance, but this is what I mean by it.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm picturing this crazy yoga pose.
Yeah.
Where you're still standing. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me.
What are you still trying to figure out? What are you trying to figure out this time, a couple months later?
This time, really honest answer, I'm trying to find a way to monetize long table dinners for the long haul. That's what I'm trying to do. We got 1 million views on Feast, which is bonkers and just shows you, if you're listening and you have the tiniest looking brand, never ever say to someone, as I have been doing, we've only got this many followers, but.
Ugh.
Keep doing that. I kept doing that. Yep. And when I look at the reach, 1 million views on Feast is mental. And we've only got 3,000 followers. So there's so many opportunities for brands to be aligning with Dime Wilder. And because I've done it back to front and like thrown myself into creating a brand before we monetize it, now we can be really intentional with who we align with because look at the audience we've got. So that's my whole focus for 2026, to prove everyone wrong that tells me it's not possible for this to have longevity. It is. And watch.
Watch what you've done already. Watch what you did in 4 weeks. You're amazing.